players. Canada was shorthanded for 16 minutes, and it was a real grinding affair, not all that entertaining. Canada in red, Slovakia in white. And as Gord mentioned, they battled to a 0-0 draw last year. Interesting thing to remember about that game was the Slovakians were pumped up. It was their second game of the tournament. It was Canada's first. The Slovaks were coming off a big win over the Czech Republic. Starting lineups brought to you by Chapters.ca. Just you and a few million gift ideas.
Pettinger has moved up with Ribeiro. Chouinard has come from the left wing over to the right. Richards has moved to the left wing. Ryder back down with Bell. So that's what the shakeup is. As far as the defense goes, it remains the same. Bouwmeester should see a little bit more action in today's game.
And at whose expense do you think his ice time will come?
Well, possibly, as we saw a little bit yesterday, Roulier's.
Off the face-off, it's Heatley for Canada. Pedals it up in towards the corner. Lundmark, who has 1 assist so far, tried to get it out in front. It was knocked down, and back come the Slovaks. Puck fired in, cross ice by Kolnick. Bounces up along the boards. Merna after it. Make that Morena. Trying to knock it loose. Seaback over there to help out. Seaback trying to chop it loose. He is the leading scorer on this Slovak team, returning from last year. He was 3rd in team scoring last year in the tournament. Has 1 goal so far this year. Last year he had 2 goals and 3 assists. Measy sends it up along the boards. There's Gaborik, given a bump, but he gets the puck out to the neutral zone. Gaborik wears number 23, and there he is again, pinned along the boards. Jacklin not letting him get very far. Here comes Gaborik up to the line where he's relieved of the puck. Bout coming back for Canada, moving in, looking across towards the front of the net. Nielsen was breaking in there, and thus the collision in the crease. Nielsen, number 10 for Canada. Flips it down low for Bout. Bout has Malhotra out there with him. Here's Nielsen with a bouncing puck. Trying to get it down to Malhotra, but broken up. And this is Gaborik. Tiptoeing up to the blue line. Gaborik trying to get outside, and he was pulled down. And a penalty coming up. It's going to be a tripping call on Canada's number 24, Kyle Rossiter. Take a look at the Slovak lineup, and again, the man you'll want to watch is Gaborik.
Right there, but also this guy, Marian Haas's brother, Marcel. But this is the man right down here, and not much attention to it. But Kopecky might be the next best prospect next to Gaborik. As far as the defense goes, well, Measy is the guy that is 6'5", 231 pounds, the Islanders' first-round draft pick.
And there's the tripping penalty there on Kyle Rossiter as he pulled down Gaborik. Just to get back to Kopecky, number 22, we'll watch for him. They call him in Slovakia the other 17-year-old. Gaborik, the man getting all the attention, but Kopecky, a very talented young player.
Well, he and Gaborik play on the same line with each other in Trenton.
Bell up in the corner for Canada, couldn't come up with it. And right down middle, trying to jab his way through there. Zalaszak. Puck rolls around there at the side. Zalaszak trying to dance in front. Gets it back to the blue line. Urban moves it up to the corner. Serovi. Back to the line. Redieni fires it up. Kuchenberg is parked there in front, number 26. Jousting with Biron. And the puck rolling around in front of Ouellet, knocked towards the corner. Redieni with a shot. That's tipped wide. Pops up off the boards. Urban after it. Urban poking it into the corner. 58 seconds left in the power play for the Slovaks. Kuchenberg got a little bit of room and trying to create a little bit more. Gets it out. Puck pounded towards the goal by Urban. He had moved in from the point, but couldn't land it in the target. Hishtek back of the goal. Delayed penalty coming up against Canada. Berardini with a shot. That was knocked wide. Puck comes back out. Starosta knocking it back in. And that is offside called on the Czech Republic. Pardon me, on Slovakia. Pardon me for that. And 26 seconds remaining in the initial minor, so it's going to be a 2-man advantage for the Slovaks.
Well, Claude Julien is probably thinking, oh no, here we go again. Watch Julian right in front of the net. That's a bad penalty on his part. I should say Ryder just ends up taking the feet right out from underneath the Slovak player, Kuchenberg. So Canada has faced 5-on-3 situations before in the last couple of games, and they are going to once again be in that situation.
Well, if there's a bright spot for Canada, there are a couple. Number one, they haven't lost a game yet in this tournament. And number two, penalty killing has been great.
Coming into tonight's game, they're 16-16. And that's not what they wanted to practice again tonight, Paul.
And one big reason is Manny Malhotra, who is out there now. Talking to one Team Canada official, he says for his money, Malhotra, the best player in the team so far. Largely because of his great penalty killing work. Devechka slides it up. And the puck will just be cleared down the ice. One penalized player hops on. It is now a one-man advantage. 5-on-4 for the next minute 24. Puck cleared in. Radivojevic and Pistek trying to get up there, but offside is called. Well, heading into this game, you heard Gary talk about it. Canada needing to worry a little bit more about doing what it takes for them to be successful and not worrying so much about the opponent.
I think, first of all, we spent more time talking about ourselves today. Obviously, it's a matter of maybe not playing on our heels so much, and it's okay to respect your opponents, but I think we respected them a little bit too much, and we need to start playing our game.
Canada short-handed, and Biron with the puck, and tried to throw it across there, and McCarthy fell down. An unfortunate trip for him. Morena moving up to pick it up. Morena looking, drops it down low. Kolnick is parked in front, number 27. Puck comes across. Kugrok with a shot. That's knocked away. 48 seconds left in the power play for the Slovaks. Kolnick. Harabin up to Kolnick. Tips it across. Kugrok trying to knock it down. Slides it up towards the corner. Seaback after it. Gets it around back of the goal. Seaback back towards the blue line, and out it comes. 24 seconds left in the power play. Ladislav Harabin. Long pass up ahead that was read well and knocked down by Jackman, who comes up to works, gets it to Bell, and Bell will just kill off some time. Only 10 seconds left in the Slovak power play. Now Bell hustling up there. Was looking towards the front of the net. He had Lundmark there. Penalized player back on, and the team's at even strength. Canada's penalty killing continues to be perfect. Puck fired in. Willett turned that aside. Barrett Jackman along the boards. Gaborik giving him a bump. Lundmark after it. Lundmark. Pettinger in the front of the net. Now Pettinger picks it up back of the goal. Bell parked out in front. Nice move by Pettinger. Pettinger still with it. Tried to center it for Bell, and it was tipped astray. Joey Roulier hustling back to tie up his man. This is McCarthy. Trying to chop that puck loose. Hossa up there looking for it. Knocked it up along the board. Hossa drops it back. And that is grabbed and held by Willett. Good shot fired off the stick of Bardovich. First period is brought to you in part by Dodge and its local retailers. Played 6:10 in the first period, 0-0 Canada and Slovakia. The Slovaks going 0 for 2 on the power play. They had 4 shots on goal. Sorovi Gets it out in front of the net. Puck zipped towards the goal. That was Zalaszak who'd moved in. And Zalaszak after it back of the goal. Comes up around. Orban with a shot. That was tipped wide by Sorobi. And this is Biron coming back out for Canada. Clears it in. Chouinard hustling up there after it, coming in on the right side. Couldn't quite get there in time. And back come the Slovaks. Orban dropping it off there at the blue line. Berardini came in, but offside called on the Slovaks, who played 6:47 of the first period. 0-0 the score. Here's Bob McKenzie.
Paul, we've talked a lot about Marian Gaborik, who could well be the #1 overall pick in this year's NHL entry draft. Interesting to note that at no time during the 5-on-3 man advantage and at no time during the 5-on-4 man advantage for the Slovaks did Gaborik hit the ice. And it's something we've seen a lot of here in the past week. Gaborik gets very little or no power play time, yet he seems to be one of the most offensively gifted players on the team. It'll be interesting one day to get an explanation from the Slovak coach on why that is.
He certainly sees a lot of power play time in the league. The Extraliga. Puck in front, scores! Chris Nilsson with his second goal of the tournament, and Canada takes the lead.
And just a real good shot on Nilsson's part. Canada wanted to forecheck and forecheck. Well, they did for the first couple of shifts in the game before they got into penalty trouble. But now, even strength, they get a chance to do that again. Taking the body, turning the puck over, and utilizing that area right there. Open ice. If the Canadians send 2 men in to forecheck, and that third man comes in late, he looks for the open ice. This team has got enough skill. They're good enough passers to be able to find that open man. And that's exactly what happened that created that goal. Good passing, good forechecking, and a great shot.
Manny Malhotra picks up the assist on Nilsson's second goal of the tournament. And Canada with a 1-0 lead. Goal coming at 7:01. Kudrock moving it up. Puck comes across here. Morena swings wide, gets it across in front of the goal. It was sitting there for Kolnick, number 27, who took a chop at it. Back the other way for Canada. Lundmark clears it in. Stania parking it there back of the goal. Comes up and around. Kolnick. This dumps it up to the corner. Seaback after it. Bounced away from him. Kudrock ricocheting it back in off the board. Slovaks on a change. McCarthy for Canada, forging his way to center, gets it to Lundmark. Bouwmeester firing it up to the blue line, knocked down. This is Bouwmeester's first shift of the game. Measy sends it up and around. Gaborik after it, number 23. He was given a bump. Puck rolls out. Bartovich trying to get loose. That's Richards hustling up there for Canada to forecheck. Measy. Long pass up ahead. Gaborik takes it just outside the line. Gets to the circle, but the Canadian checkers sticking very close to Gaborik. Gaborik throwing it up to the corner. Costa trying to get it out in front. Richards taps it back ahead. Bell for Canada. Up for Ryder.
Go.
Ryder ridden into the boards.
Look up.
This is Gaborik. Taps it up ahead. Bartovich. Back for Gaborik. Knocked away from him. Kinch gets it up ahead for Ryder. Urban poked it away.
As soon as Kinch got that puck, when Canada had turned it over behind their own blue, not enough forwards were moving. They were standing still.
Oh! Nice little move by Pettinger, and then he clears it in. Chouinard gets it up into the corner. Ribeiro is knocked down. In over the line, Zalaszak got to the top of the slot. He's bowled over, and the puck cleared out by Chouinard. Up ahead, Ribeiro trying to weave his way loose to get to that puck. He's taken out of the corner. Pass up for Chouinard was behind him, and Canada called for icing. Played 9:46 of the first period. Canada with the only goal. Chris Nilsson getting it, and Canada has the lead.
For every guy who knows clean is a relative term. For every guy with the ability to follow more than 3 programs at once. For every guy who sees no reason to dirty another glass. And for every guy who'd rather not spend the weekend in a mall, we'd like to introduce you to the Dodge Durango. It has the most cargo space, towing capacity, and power of any SUV in its class. The Dodge Durango. It's good to be a guy.
Manny Malhotra picking up the only assist on Nielsen's goal.
And a perfect pass by Malhotra. He had his head up, he took a look and found Nielsen right in the high slot.
I say again, for a lot of people's money, he's been the best player on the Canadian team the first couple of games.
He's got a big heart, he's a good leader right now, he's just got a wonderful character to him. At the same time, he's looking for revenge from Helsinki.
Nielsen after it, chopped it in, but Canada gets caught in the offside.
Now, Holtra's never been a big goal scorer, even back in junior hockey when he led his team to Memorial Cup finals in Guelph. But I'll tell you one thing, he is a good skater. He's got that good stride to him. He's got a real powerful stride about him, but he's such a reliable player. He's not selfish the least bit. He will give up goals in order to make sure that other guys who've got a better opportunity get that chance. And he's so good defensively that you can use him out there in any situation. And he's sure shown his penalty killing skills.
Rabin with a long pass up there to Kolnick, and the play sputtered there at the blue line. Puck ripped on goal by Heatley. He stepped over the line and let fly. And that was a nice stop by Stania, but great example of how that long pass can sometimes work. It didn't quite click this time, but you don't see this in the NHL.
Well, all the way up through the middle, because there's no red line. Take a look, folks. All of a sudden, that man right there was trying to split the defense. Came pretty close to doing it. Kolnick was able to get some wood on that puck anyway. Just wasn't able to control it. Good, solid, hard pass right up the middle.
Here's Richards. Gets it in front. Puck fired just wide by Ryder. Oh, did he have a good chance. Ryder right out in marksman's territory. Rossiter. Long pass up ahead for Ryder, a little bit too far for him. Misi skating back to pick it up. Number 7 for the Slovaks. We've played 11 minutes of this opening period. It is 1-0. Canada leading on a goal from Chris Nielsen. Here comes Gaborik. He let go a good low shot. Willette had to be alert there, and was. Ryder chops it loose, gets it up ahead to Richards. Richards by himself. Look at this. Fired it just wide. Richards with a solo effort. And now Ryder gets it in front of the net. It just hopped over Bellstick. Couple of good chances for Canada.
Oh, there's some open ice out there in the offensive zone for Canada. They're finding it.
Icing column, the Slovaks. We've played 11:27, and Canada is starting to move.
Welcome to my Hall of Fame. Home of the quickest, most awesome player to ever hit the ice. The place where with one unexpected move, I can single-handedly bring thousands to their feet. What's your dream?
We talk about the fact that Canada haven't scored many goals, and there's been lots of talk about that, but they've got lots of offensive abilities. Watch Brad Richards here. He just zips right down through the middle, puts a nice move right here. He gets his head up at the last second and looks for that top corner glove side. Brad Richards from Rimouski, who was a Tampa Bay draft pick. He scored 39 goals last year. Canada have got lots of players who have got the ability to finish. They've just had a difficult time in this tournament, and this tournament tends to be a defensive-minded tournament anyway.
Offside called on the Slovaks.
You know, we can talk an awful lot about the lack of offense at times, but you know, Paul, you and I have seen this tournament for a long time, and lately, I mean, over these last few years, I mean, there's great concentration on defense by all teams out there. Claude Julien wants to see more offense from his team, but hey, this isn't all of a sudden a group of OUAA All-Stars that this team's facing. Yeah, they played, and that's no disrespect to OUAA All-Stars, but Canada in Kitchener scored 14 goals against teams like that. Well, over here, it's an awful lot tougher.
Zalasek comes in, fires one, bounces towards the corner. Sorobi up after it. Sorobi takes it down low in the corner. Zalasek trying to get loose out in front. Hossa also out there. Biron trying to tie his man up there. Ribeiro having trouble contending with the Slovak player. Play is whistled down. A penalty coming up. It's going to be a holding call. Ribeiro had a tough time watching his guy coming out of the corner, and that's the main reason the puck got to the front of the net. And it's a holding the stick call. And that's why Ribeiro had a rough time.
Absolutely. Slovak player got nabbed for it. He thought he was going to get away with it.
Tomas Sorobi heads to the box.
Yeah, and that won't do him any good because his coaches weren't really planning on even using him today. So all of a sudden he gets a chance to get out there and he ends up taking a penalty. You know, we've talked about Spezza a great deal. Bob McKenzie talked about him, but there is a chance that we might see him on the power play. But we'll get back to that in a moment, folks. But there's lots of players on this team. Well, you got to remember that. He's a 16-year-old player that have got offensive abilities.
McCarthy got it in over the blue line. Lundmark driving towards the corner. Puck's going to roll back out. Richards moves in. A wrist shot tipped in front. That was knocked away. It was Heatley drifting through at the tip. Reed sets it up. Richards tried to punch it through. McCarthy steps up into the corner. Now Richards pinching up to try to keep it in. Here's Reed for Heatley. Back to Reed. McCarthy's open in the slot. And they couldn't get it to him that time. Lundmark throws it up. Reed down low. Lundmark, Richards, quick shot. Wired that one high and wide. Lundmark up to Reed in the corner. 52 seconds left in the power play. And the puck bounces out. Going to be a bit of a foot race for this one. Seaback trying to get up there, number 20 for the Slovaks. Great strength as he battles his way up, but wasn't able to make a play. 37 seconds left in the power play for Canada.
McCarthy was pretty strong in the puck himself in that situation.
Here's Ribeiro. Drops it up. Bell for Ribeiro. Back for Richards, and it popped by him. Gaborik moving up after the puck. Watching Biron. Here's Richards. 15 seconds left in a man advantage for Canada. Canada with a 1-0 lead. 6 minutes to play in the first period. Biron getting it up for Chouinard. Back for Bell. And he pirouetted in towards the goal. Wasn't able to get a shot away. Now here's Chouinard firing one just wide. Biron works it up. Penalized player is back on. Puck cleared up ahead. Bartovich moving in on goal. Backhand shot, and the whistle goes.
It was a late whistle as well.
You know, I have noticed that in the first couple of games, some of the offside calls take forever. And it's got to be so frustrating for the players. So it's 1-0 Canada. Team's back at even strength, and let's bring in Bob McKenzie again. What's up, Mac?
Well, Paul, I was watching the look on the linesman's face, and quite frankly, he didn't know what to do. The Team Canada bench was hollering that it was offside. He looked uncertain. He didn't know. He allowed the man to go to the net, and then at the last second blew the whistle, much to the chagrin and the outrage of the Slovak bench.
Well, as I say, I've seen that a few times in the first couple of games. And one time with Canada, I believe it was Richards who came in, and he actually got in close enough to make a play, and then heard the whistle at the last second and let sort of a soft shot go towards the net. But, I mean, you let it go that long, you run the risk of somebody wiring one on net and maybe injuring the goaltender. Pass up ahead to Malhotra. He's got Bauk moving towards the front of the net. Bauk trying to corral that bouncing puck. He's got it now. Nilsson parked in front. There's Malhotra. He was hit along the boards. He was hit from behind, and we'll see if that's the call. Play whistle down. It's a penalty against Slovakia. Roman Kuchenberg is heading to the box.
Over time, I've been building my castle of love. I've gone much too far for you now to say that I've got to throw my castle away. And maybe true if you would believe, you too might be overjoyed.
Well, Malhotra once again, that's about the second time, I think, in this tournament that he's got crunched from behind. And that was by Kuchenberg, who ended up with a penalty. But Malhotra went to the bench, but he was shaking it off.
Here's Richards moving up, scores! Brad Richards with a power play goal. And Canada is up by a score of 2-0.
Well, Spezza gets his opportunity, and things work out here for Canada. Watch how they set it up. And watch all of a sudden how Spezza just came around in front, set up the nice screen. And I don't think that Stana could see that puck. Spezza ends up getting his opportunity and set up the perfect screen. So a good start for him.
15:07, the time of the power play goal. Richards gets it. And Canada with a 2-0 lead. And that was Jason Spezza's second shift of the tournament. He saw a little bit of time on a power play in the first game. And he gets out there, and you saw him go to the front of the net and create the screen.
Well, the point I wanted to make, though, about the amount of offense on this team, you look at Chouinard, who's a 50-goal scorer. Malhotra is a National Hockey League player. Richards, a 39-goal scorer. Ryder, 44. Lundmark, 40. Ribeiro is a first-round draft pick. Led the Canadian Hockey League in points. You know, Spezza's a good offensive player, and he's a smart one, but he's 16 years of age.
Roulier fires it up wide. Reed comes up after it. Lundmark battled it loose. Here's Gaborik. So Canada with a 2-0 lead. Gaborik throwing it up ahead. Bartovich fired one from the sharp angle. Gaborik going to the front of the net, now comes into the corner to pick it up. Centers it. Bartovich is waiting there, but it was knocked away. Mizzi up to Hossa along the boards. And another offside call on the Slovaks.
And folks,
Nike Skills Development Camps encourage minor hockey players to improve their fundamental skills of the game. Program coaching manuals provide easy, progressive techniques to teach our next generation of great players. Nike, proud supporters of the CHA.
And folks, I just want to point out, too, Spezza has handled this situation perfectly. His parents are here. They've handled everything perfectly. Spezza wants to play, and he'll sure get an opportunity on this team for many years to come.
Biron going for the front of the net, and he just tipped that wide. Worked the give and go coming in. That was with Pettinger. Offside! And offside called on the Slovaks.
Well, we've pointed out on a number of occasions in the last couple of games that Biron has been pretty effective out there. He goes to the net. He's such a big man, and again, at 6'6", 212 pounds, when he heads to the net, it's real tough to stop him. He got his stick down on the ice, which was the right thing to do, and almost deflected that in.
Ribeiro throwing it up ahead. Here's Pettinger. Chouinard centers it in front. Ribeiro with a shot. Pettinger with a whack at it, but the puck didn't sit for him. And it's cleared down the ice. Chouinard moves in to Ribeiro. Sasha to the cross. On the move, and up there is Bell. Bell gets it out. Chouinard with a chop at the puck. Ribeiro in the corner. Jackman pinching up from the blue line, not able to keep it in, and he'll hot-foot it back to back check here. Radejovic upended along the boards, and a penalty coming up against Canada. And I believe it's going to be against Rossiter. He will head to the box. Tripping should be the call.
Well, Rossiter felt that he was going to get beat on the outside, but at the same time, I'm not sure that when you take a look at it from this angle, there wasn't a little bit extra attention taken to the way the Slovak player went down. Rossiter is shaking his head about it, but he did get his stick in between the legs, and as a result, he sits in the penalty box. Canada had some pretty good momentum there going for a while, and unfortunately then when you end up taking a penalty, you're back on your heels again and playing that patient defensive box.
Third power play of the game for the Slovaks. Kolnick gets it up into the corner. Harabin. Morena back to Harabin. Fires a shot, goes up towards the corner. Harabin again. Seaback tried to go down low, and that was broken up and knocked out. 1:30 to go on the power play for the Slovaks. Marina drops it off. Kolnick up for Marina. Harabin. Kolnick down for Marina. Kolnick is out in front, so Seaback. Puck's going to come along. Kudrock. Marina gets it down. Seaback. Harabin at the blue line. Up for Seaback. Gets it right in front of the net. The puck bounced down there. Kolnick tried to cradle it back onto his forehand. They'll get another chance here. Kolnick feeds the point. Harabin shooting. Nice stop by Ouellette as that left pad came out. Harabin bouncing it to the slot. Kolnick is pulled down and the puck is clear.
Good move by Bell, though. He was able to get that puck out all the way down. He sacrificed his body there.
24 seconds left in the power play for the Slovaks. Jackman for Canada. Rolling it out towards center. Here comes Gaborik. Over to Hossa on the left side. Hossa. Being badgered there by Biron. Less than a minute to go in the period. Measy. Measy with a wrist shot. Tip. Ouellette to save. Loose, but not for long. Ouellette covers it up with 50 seconds to go in the period. And the team's back at even strength.
Wow, is this guy intense? I thought right from the first game against the Finns that Ouellette was probably the most intense player on Canada's team. And you don't usually talk about intensity with a goaltender, but he has got great concentration. He's been able to see the puck through the maze. He ended up taking a stick in the head, I think, on that shot after he had made the save. Look how he pulled the puck back. No, it wasn't a stick. It was an elbow there that he ended up getting right in the head. You saw the way that he pulled that rebound right back in underneath of him and yet still was strong on the puck, protected it. He has been outstanding.
Talk all you want about Jason Spezza and how tough it must be for him to see limited ice time. How about Ouellette's backup, Brian Finley? He's a returning player. He was a backup last year. He comes over again this year and finds himself in the same role.
He'd love to play just like Spezza would love to play more. They're both great players.
Lundmark after it up in the corner. 30 seconds to go in the period. Kolba gets it across in front. Bardovic and Gaborik were both there. Here's Measy. Up for Hossa. Trying to find a bit of room. 15 seconds to go in the period. Got stopped up there at the blue line. Pass right up the middle. Here comes Reed. 9 seconds. The puck loose in front. And the net is dislodged with 3 seconds to go. And the Canadians wondering whether or not there's going to be a penalty shot. And
you got it.
There's the signal. That's a penalty shot.
That's the one. Just a great use of that middle ice.
The net was intentionally dislodged. That's the ruling of the referee, Daniel Kerman. And as a result, Canada is awarded a penalty shot.
Take a look how this happened in the first place. Great heads-up play, just some great passing, taking advantage of that open ice up the middle. There's the trip, and at the same time then you could see the left foot of Stana end up taking the net right off of its moorings.
It is Jamie Lundmark who will take the penalty shot. Canada already up 2-0. And a briefing to Radislav Stania, the goalkeeper. Most exciting play in hockey coming up. Here comes Lundmark. And he gets the goal.
He's done that in practice.
Jamie Lundmark scores in a penalty shot, and Canada is up 3-0 against Slovakia.
Lundmark and Stana play on the same team. They play for Moose Jaw, so good choice in selecting Lundmark. He knows how Stana can move, and in that particular situation, he waltzed right around him and put that puck in behind him. What a big goal that is for Canada, who are showing their offensive capabilities here in this game.
So the penalty shot goal at 19:57. And Canada putting a nice bow on their best period so far in this tournament. 3-0 after 1. Here's Gordon Miller.
All right, Paul, coming up at our first intermission, Bob McKenzie will join us. We'll talk about a number of things going on in the tournament, including some dissension in the ranks for Slovakia. Chris Nielsen is featured in Canadian Classics, and we'll have a TSN Tonight update. Team Canada with an offensive explosion, a 3-0 lead after 20 minutes against Slovakia.
McDonald's has these retro hockey cards out right now. They include rookie cards of hockey greats like Paul Kariya, Jaromir Jagr. I'm very touched they recognize me in this way. I know my teammates are very proud of me too. I know that. I can feel it.
Retro hockey cards featuring rookie cards of the greatest players in the game, including this year's newest stars. 69 cents with any Fry purchase, plus a chance to win autographed NHL merchandise.
Never let a small thing stand in your way, 'cause the world's yours to embrace. With all your heart you must follow, keep your eyes on tomorrow, follow what's deep inside you, and do what you gotta do. Faith in you.
The ultimate place to play.
When the male is in pursuit of the female, the slightest scent of unpleasantness may send the female running. Thus, I recommend Right Guard Clear Gel or Clear Stick. Antiperspirant protection from odor and wetness that glides on clear with no flaky white stuff.
How far's the female?
A good 70 yards, mate.
I've made longer passes than that before. Right Guard Clear Gel and Clear Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
The festive lights are ablaze here in Skellefteå, Sweden, of course, in a city where they only get 2 hours of daylight. Lights aren't really an option now, are they? Team Canada with a 3-0 lead over Slovakia after 1 period of play on this day 5 of the World Junior Hockey Championship. Our man Bob McKenzie between the benches is with me now. Bob, you know, we talk about dissension in the ranks. We used to talk about the United States. The problem was college players against guys who played major junior, and there was famous instance of friction, of course, in 1995 in Red Deer, one of the most famous. But you're saying now that Slovakia's got the same problem.
Very similar problem, and it's because there are so many players from major junior hockey, 12 in all, playing on this Slovakian team. Christian Kudroch, the big defenseman, a draft pick of the New York Islanders who plays for the Quebec Remparts of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Here with the Quebec City newspaper reporter. The story appeared today in the Quebec City paper, Journal de Quebec, and he talked about the dissension in the ranks, says that maybe not dissension, but certainly two distinct groups on this team, two factions, if you will, and that they're not on the same page, and that he can hardly wait to get back to Quebec City, and he hoped the team has booked early flights because he can't see this team advancing. Had some questioning of some of the calls by the coach, the way he uses different players. So not a good situation for the Slovakian team that won their first medal last year, and were expected to be a medal contender this year around.
Well, they might beat the postcards home if this result holds, because they'll be out of medal contention. They'd be sent back to the relegation round. You know, people talk in Canada about why Jason Spetz isn't playing. Hard to imagine that Marian Gaborik isn't good enough to play in their power play.
I can't figure this one out, and I know you can't either, Gordon. We've been watching the Slovaks play all week, and Gaborik very rarely, if ever, gets out on a power play situation. Usually when he does, it's on the second power play unit, and it's only with 20 or 30 seconds left in the power play. The odd time that he has gone out there, he has produced some offense and created some good scoring opportunities. But the Slovak coach seems to be intent on rolling 4 lines and going with one set power play that doesn't include Gaborik. And that is a little strange, because Gaborik is nothing if not an offensive talent. The guy's got great wheels, great offensive instincts, and you give him the puck anywhere within 15 or 20 feet of the net, there's an excellent chance it could end up in the back of the net. But Gary Green talked about it off the top. He's not having nearly as good a tournament this year as he did a year ago. It'll be interesting to see what the scouts have to say about Gaborik coming out of this. He went into this tournament as a consensus #1 overall pick for this year's draft, but hasn't played that way in the game so far.
And finally, Bob, we mentioned off the top of the program, 17 of the Canadian players play major junior, 12 of the Slovaks. So with 29 players out there who quite often play against each other, I'd imagine you're hearing some interesting conversations between the benches.
Yeah, but very few that I can repeat here, Gordon, on a family show like this one. Interesting, though, that the captain of the Slovak team is from Drummondville. Zalesek plays for Drummondville of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, and Chris Nielsen, who plays for the Calgary Hitmen of the Western Hockey League. Chris Nielsen is all over Zalesek, and I can't understand what the connection is there, other than maybe he's going after the captain of the team. But there's certainly a lot of byplay between the two teams. And right now, the Slovaks, a very dispirited bunch, as you would expect, down by 3 goals in a game that they absolutely have to win if they have any hope of getting into the next medal round. Because this Slovak team, only 1 point. The Finns and the U.S. and Canada all sitting with 3 right now. If they don't win this game, they are all, for all intents and purposes, out of medal contention.
And it's worth noting, Bob, you'd think the Czechs maybe would have some sympathy for their old friends, the Slovaks. They're cheering every Canada goal. It's every man for himself at this point in the World Junior Hockey Championship. Bob, thanks. We'll talk to you in our second intermission. And TSN's live coverage of the 2000 World Junior Hockey Championship will continue right after this.
It's a Canadian game.
The Royal Bank Financial Group has developed the Toonie Toss fundraising program, a fun way to raise money for minor hockey. Toss a toonie from the stands. One nearest the target wins great prizes. Proceeds from the event go directly to your community hockey program. The Royal Bank, proud supporters of the CHA.
When the male is in pursuit of the female, the slightest scent of unpleasantness may send the female running. Thus, I recommend Right Guard Clear Gel or Clear Stick. Antiperspirant protection from odor and wetness. It glides on clear with no flaky white stuff.
How far's the female?
A good 70 yards, mate.
I've made longer passes than that before. Right Guard Clear Gel and Clear Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Breakaway in progress. Shots fired. Time to find out.
Day after grueling day, two men face off against the big league.
Guy comes down, he goes there, he goes over to there, a guy hits it. It is over.
Armed with experience, they brave the action and chase the truth.
What are you, blind?
Take your time. Be absolutely sure.
These men finish what they start. The fast-breaking, high-level action is here. Starring Rod Smith. And his partner on the beat, Darren Detition. Together, they are Rodsky and Dutch. Rodsky and Dutch. All new dynamic episodes. Weeknights at 11 Eastern on TSN Sports Desk.
Well, I come from a pretty small town. I think there's 75 inhabitants, including cats and dogs. So it's a small town in Manitoba called Goodlands, and it's a farming community, and you know, it's a community. You know everybody, and everybody's involved in everything, and you know, it was a great place for me to grow up, and you know, I got a lot of my, you know, my values in life, and you know, that sort of thing from the community. The one thing that I want to do is, you know, be able to stand on the blue line, you know, with a gold medal on, singing the anthem. I mean, it's inspiring to watch that, and you know, watch the various teams really, you know, throughout the past decade. I guess there's been 7 of them who've done that, and you know, that'd be, I mean, that's my ultimate goal.
In 1996, e-commerce transactions totaled $2.8 billion. By 2003, it will be 1.3 trillion. Can your network cope? AT&T, the network the world works on.
This is great! At midnight, we'll eat our way into the new millennium with this Gigundo party sub from Subway.
And no bacon in my section.
Eat your way into the new millennium with delicious 6-foot party subs and party platters from Subway.
4, 3, 2. Oh well, 'tis always the next millennium.
Subway, the way a sandwich should be.
Let's go. Get ready for a really extreme winter. New cycle ski available at bike shops across the country. It's only $2.99.
The Royal Bank Financial Group has developed the Toonie Toss fundraising program, a fun way to raise money for minor hockey. Toss a toonie from the stands. One nearest the target wins great prizes. Proceeds from the event go directly to your community hockey program. The Royal Bank, proud supporters of the CHA.
Monday, more international hockey drama is on the way from TSN. Right after the World Junior Semifinals, check out the next generation at the World Under-17 Hockey Challenge. It's the championship game from Timmins, Ontario, only on TSN. Thursday night, the NBA's on TSN. Tim Duncan leads his San Antonio Spurs into Vancouver to take on Sharif Abdur-Rahim and the Grizzlies. Spurs, Grizzlies, NBA basketball, TSN, Thursday.
Welcome to TSN Newsroom. I'm Bob Pronick. The Buffalo Bills have decided to rest quarterback Doug Flutie for Sunday's game against Indianapolis. Backup Rob Johnson will start in his place. Buffalo coach Wade Phillips is making the change to give Johnson some playing time while giving Flutie a rest. The Bills have already clinched a playoff berth. Johnson suffered a concussion in his only appearance of the season back in September. Join TSN for the ultimate in college football action. The national championship is up for grabs as Florida State takes on Virginia Tech in the Sugar Bowl. Game time is 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on January the 4th, next Tuesday. In other news, the New England Patriots have suspended receiver Terry Glenn for the remainder of the season for conduct not adhering to team policy. And Curtis Enos will undergo arthroscopic surgery on a shoulder and miss the Bears' final game. We'll get you back to the second period right after this.
So, Wayne, you're retired. What's next for the Great One?
I'm thinking about wrestling.
Wrestling?
Wrestling?
Well, who'd have thunk it?
Hey, Great One.
Uh-oh. Now there's a bicep. Has Wayne seen that?
Come here.
Here comes trouble.
Hi, Wayne.
Hey, Brett.
How do you like your retirement?
Do you want points? Want to win in Durango? Got an SO Extra card? So use it. Now you can win and earn at SO. Swipe the card, win, and earn.
Come here, let me look at it. How many? 4. Look here, look here. Go, go. All right, do it. Go.
Where's the goal?
It's a Canadian game.
And welcome back. Paul Romanek along with Gary Green, Bob McKenzie, and Gord Miller. And second period action just underway. Canada coming off of its best period of the tournament so far, I would argue. Maholter firing one there that was knocked away. 3 goals, one of them on a penalty shot. And let's see how the Slovaks respond. Kolba venturing in over the blue line. Pistak up there with him. Comes around to the corner. Seaback looking for it. But Canada prevails. Long pass up ahead there. Nilsson, one of the Canadian goal scorers, had it hooked away from him. This is Matt Kinch bouncing it in.
Canada were looking for that quick change. Their change was almost too quick.
And the puck was tapped with a high stick, so play whistle down. First period scoring summary brought to you by Gatorade. Is it in you? Nilsson with his second goal of the tournament. Richards scored 1, and Lundmark scoring on the penalty shot, also picking up an assist. Nice little move he put in his teammate, Radoslav Stania.
And a good choice, too.
Yeah, both play for the Moose Jaw Warriors.
Smart move by Claude Julien at selecting Jamie Lundmark, who he knew would have a good book on Radoslav Stania.
Puck comes back. Trying to punch it through there was Starosta, and he'll chase back and pick it up now. Bardovich couldn't pull it in. Here's Ribeiro, rolled ahead of him. Rossiter fires it in. That's blockered away. Ribeiro firing it up towards the goal. Pettinger looking for it. And there was that long pass up. Gaborik was lurking up in neutral territory and couldn't quite hook in the pass. Between the boards, brought to you by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game.
We'll take a look at one of these. We had hits before, but one of our statisticians, Michael McKenzie, has been keeping track of battles won, which is almost more important than hits, folks. And in that first period, the battles were pretty even. Canada, as you remember, in the first period yesterday, ended up getting well, out-battled in the first period by the Czech Republic. The Slovakian bench were really slow going off at the end of the first period. Bob McKenzie talked about the dissension that might be going on amongst his team. About 8 players stayed and were very late at going to the dressing room after the first period of play. I don't know what that was all about, but teams should go to the ice together and leave the ice together.
Lundmark dumping it in. Heatley up there trying to forecheck. Zalesak giving a bump along the boards. Got to be such a disappointment for the Slovaks coming off of the high of last year. Serovi fires it up around. Veradini trying to get it out in front. Serovi there looking forward as well. Reed bounced along the boards. Here comes Heatley. He's got some room. Heatley passed it right across in front of the net. This is Lundmark after it. Lundmark just missed that feed there, and now he's pulled down in the corner. And a power play coming up for Canada. That was a nice combination there. Heatley coming in with Lundmark, and they just failed to click.
Well, I think Claude Julien, first of all, is going to be pretty pleased at what he's seen in this game as far as his team moving forward. Yeah, skates were all moving. Their feet were moving. They're getting offensive opportunities because of it. And then here's the penalty.
.218, the time of the tripping penalty. Slovaks not doing themselves any favors here. Canada already with a 3-0 lead. That's Dusan Ziska, the head coach of the Slovakian team. He was an assistant last year on a team that won a bronze medal, the first ever medal in this tournament for the Slovakian team. After the country being split up, they had to play their way up out of the C pool. And they made it up to the A pool and were great last year. 3-0-1 during the round robin, but there's been no sign of that team this year. Ribeiro trying to get it out in front for Chouinard. Ribeiro back to the line. Biron working it up. There's Biron sort of pushing that one towards the goal. Ribeiro hustling after it. Biron over to Kinch with a wrist shot that was blocked in the way through by Harabin. Here's Ribeiro again. Back for Biron. Wrist shot, tipped just wide. 1:03 to go on the power play for Canada. They're just controlling the puck in the offensive zone. Chouinard. Back to Ribeiro. Back for Chouinard. One time, and that was blocked in the way through. Puck bounces up to Bell. Chouinard in front. That stop. And it's covered up by Staniak.
Canada moved that puck around well. They did the little things well. The pursuit of the puck is important. It's great to have skilled players out there, but you've got to have aggressive players too who really want that puck. Chouinard is a good offensive player with lots of goal-scoring capabilities. And I like, again, what Matthew Biron has been supplying to this team. Biron's shot from the point wasn't meant to be a big rocket. It was meant just to get to the net.
.42 seconds to go in the power play, and Jason Spezza comes out. He'll set up on the left wing, number 19. So Spezza being worked into the mix a little bit this game. This is his second power play shift. Set up a screen on his first one. Let's see what he does here. Puck comes across. Richards smoked one.
Spezza set up a great screen again. He battled hard.
McCarthy working it up along the boards. He's got it back now. Here's McCarthy with a wrist shot. Reed. Down to Spezza. Tried to pass it out. That was knocked away. Here's Richards. Tight roping along that blue line. Works it over. Here's McCarthy. Gets it across. Reed to the forehand. Fired one. That was stopped by by Stena. Loose in front, and they jam at it. No goal. The puck eventually rolled in, but play had been whistled down. Teams are back at even strength. Canada with a 3-0 lead.
Freedom. Control. Just you and your laptop. Log on to autobytel.ca for vehicle pricing, product reviews, and a low, no-haggle price. Autobytel.ca, the road to your next car.
Avoid the lineups and shop online at chapters.ca right now to take advantage of huge Boxing Week specials on books, music, videos, DVDs, and software.
Curling's greatest hits and rolls on TSN.
Well, Jason Spezza once again got an opportunity to power play, so he's going to feel more part of the team. And I'll tell you what, folks, he did a really good job here of screening. He was smart. He had his back to the goaltender, so he knew where the puck was and set up the perfect screen. Unfortunately, that time, unlike the first occasion where he set up the screen and Canada scored, Canada didn't score but controlled the puck well.
Sorovi trying to go towards the net. Rossiter tied him up, and I believe Rossiter is going to take a penalty. It's going to be a holding call. And the Slovaks will go on the power play.
Well, Rossiter is ending up taking too many penalties in tonight's game and last night's game. He may find himself somewhat like Roulier in sitting for a while. Rossiter, who's a big aggressive defenseman, likes to take the body, likes to take it physical, but at the same time, in the big ice surface here with international refereeing, he's got to be very careful.
Rossiter was a forward up until a couple of years ago when he switched back to defense. Harabin, top of the point. Working it up. Kolba trying to get loose in the slot. Back to Harabin. And the puck moved up ahead. Malhotra gets away with Bauk, and he couldn't quite get a lasso on that puck. Not quite. Pistak working it ahead. Seaback drifting towards the slot. Pistak along the boards. Harabin. Top of the point, fires one. Willett kick that one away. 1 minute and 10 seconds to go in the Slovak power play. 3-0, Canada leads. And here's Gaborik getting some time in the power play. We're getting it up ahead.
See what he does with that time.
Kolba knocked it in. Seaback after it along the boards. Up there with Gaborik. Seaback comes away. Back to the blue line. Measy. Up to Gaborik. Back for Measy. Gaborik again. It's to Seaback. Again to Gaborik. Seaback trying to wrap it around. Centers it in front. A rolling puck right down in front of Willett. It's still loose and gobbled up there by Seaback. Works it back towards the blue line. Kolba keeping it in. 20 seconds left in the Slovak power play. Gaborik dragged down there by Biron, and the puck fired down the ice. Kolba gets it back for Measy. Up ahead. Kopechki in over the blue line. Tried to drive his way through, couldn't penetrate. Bell working it back out for Canada. Rossiter back onto the ice. The teams at even strength. Canada with a 3-0 lead. We've played 6 minutes and 50 seconds. Sorobi drops it back. In front, trying to cut and get the shot away was Zalasek. And that was broken up. Canada back the other way. Ribeiro in over the line. Gets it to Chouinard. Bearing it on goal. Backhand shot was flicked wide. Just over 7 minutes played in this second period. And Canada up by a hat trick. Ribeiro trying to pounce on that puck. Gets it to Chouinard. Fired that one. Comes down to Ribeiro back of the net. Ribeiro waiting. Tried to unload. And it's finally poked away from him. Ribeiro really controlling that puck in that shift. Zuckerberg up there. waiting for his teammates to get out if they complete the line change. Pistak back to the line. Harabin firing one. Willett saw that one and steered aside. Puck comes out. Chouinard on the way. Pettinger is with him. So's Ribeiro. And nicely broken up. A stick just laid down onto the ice by Marat Kolba. And the Slovaks dodging disaster there.
Both teams going end to end here. Some odd man rushes too.
Misi playing it up ahead. Trying to drive in. Bartovich had a bead on the short side, but Willett stayed with him, and he holds on to it. The second period is brought to you by Ford Focus 2000. Expect more. Played 8 minutes and 15 seconds of this second period. And Canada with a 3-0 lead. No goals here in the second period. But a great series there of end-to-end rushes. Ribeiro upended off the draw. Puck comes up. Reed after it. Misi just clears it in. Bartovich there to pick it up. Gaborik stick handling through traffic, or attempting to. Reed got a piece of him. And Biron banks it out. No icing. Starosta sends it up along the boards. Here's Heatley. In some traffic, but gets it over to Reed. He pedals his way in towards the goal. Starosta muscled him away. Puck knocked down, comes out in front. Punched towards the net by Rollier and covered up. Stania down to make the save. Joël Rollier moved in and had a good scoring chance. Many parents are here to watch their kids play, and amongst the crowd is Reno Spezza, father of Jason.
A lot of happy Canadian parents here, but none more so than Jason's dad. How happy were you to see your son get a shift and be on the ice for that goal?
Oh, that was exciting, you know, for him to be out there and create something with the team. It's been exciting for him just to be around these great players that we have out here representing his country. So he's having a great time with it. It was excellent.
Didn't play much in the first 2 games, if at all. How tough was that for him, and what did you talk to him about?
Well, it's always tough, you know, like any player at this quality of level, and that they expect to be playing all the time when he's used back to home playing 25 minutes. But he knows that this is a 19-year-olds tournament, and he knows that his time will come. He's just got to keep being part of the team and being excited. And the guys have been great. The team's winning, so that's the important thing.
Thanks.
Thank you.
No wonder the kid's got his head on straight.
Yeah, exactly. It's great the dad and son realize it's a tournament for 19-year-olds. I wish a few other people realize that and stop putting so much pressure on them. Bell plays it up around the boards. Ryder trying to knock it loose, gets it towards the front. Richards bouncing it along the boards. Richards on the wraparound. Thought he had a little bit of room there on the short side. Bell upends his man. That was a heavy hit there on Sorobi. And back come the Slovaks. Zalesak, long shot. That wobbles wide. Pistak was upended, and the puck comes back out.
This game has really opened up a lot the last 4 or 5 minutes here. It's been entertaining.
Here's Harabin. Waited for his mates to get onside, then unloads. Canada up 3-0. We played 10:45 of the second period. Here's Malhotra. Gets it up ahead. Nilsson racing after it. Moving in. Bouk is with him. There's a shot. That was Bouk crashing in towards the goal. And wasn't able to get his stick on a rebound or the pass.
Welcome back. Canada has a 3-0 lead, but right now the Canadian coaching staff a little concerned with how the Canadian team is playing with that 3-goal lead. The last 3 shifts, it has not been uncommon for all 3 Canadian forwards to be going down low. Also, the defensemen are pinching up regularly, and they've been spoken to in the last 3 shifts about maintaining a little more discipline in terms of their forecheck and defensemen coming off the blue line to join the rush.
Thanks, Bob. Off the draw, Bouk chopping one on goal. Here's Biron for Kinch, up to Nielsen. Manny Malhotra moves over after him. Measy trying to watch him. Bartovich throws it up ahead, and offside is called. Kopecky let the shot go, but that was after the whistle. And again, a late offside call.
Well, you heard what Bob McKenzie was talking about, what the coaches are talking about right now. At the same time, it's really difficult for these players because they finally get an opportunity to go out there, play even strength and roll them over, get some momentum going, and their feet are all moving, doing all the things right. And at the same time, the defensemen have got to make sure that they don't pinch unless they've got support. You've got to make sure that that third man is high. All the things that Claude Julien is saying is absolutely right. The same hand, they don't want to all of a sudden find themselves sitting back and protecting the lead, sitting on their heels, which they've also been guilty of in this tournament. It's a fine line there.
Starosta works it up ahead. Bortovich in over the blue line, gets it across. Kopecky with a shot, scores! Gaborik. A couple of great young players combining there. It was Kopecky to Gaborik. And it is 3-1. The Slovaks get on the board.
Who play together on the same line, and all of a sudden they are clicking in this game. Lots of open ice right here, and too much open ice. In that situation, Gaborik should not have been left alone. 3-on-3, a little miscommunication by Team Canada in not picking up Gaborik, and just because he hasn't done a great deal in this game doesn't mean you ignore him in those situations. He's a great gifted goal scorer, and he just showed us one of his moves.
Gaborik gets the goal, his second of the tournament, and the Slovaks on the board. Zalasek, number 18, hacking at it for the Slovaks. This is Heatley coming away for Canada. McCarthy getting it up ahead. Reed lurking up there for Canada, got his stick on that. Here's Reed. Heatley picks it up, had Lundmark open in front, but couldn't get it out to him. And the puck bounces up over the glass and out of. Be sure to join us at the conclusion of this game for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Rayovac.
Our battery lasts 80% longer.
We're 81% longer.
Instead of trash talk, how about some straight talk? Try Rayovac. If you don't think they're just as good, you get your money back. You can't lose. I like that.
Well, in the first game that Canada played against Finland, once Finland had scored that first goal after Canada were up 3-0, Canada started to sit back in their heels and they panicked a little bit too much. Hopefully in this game for Canada, they'll keep their feet moving and they won't panic. They'll still play that aggressive game.
Bell hustling up hard after that. Harabin took the brunt of that impact as they race for that puck. And play whistled down.
And that happened in the third period in game number 1 when Canada went into the third period with that 3-0 lead and were guilty of playing very cautiously, and especially after the first goal was scored. Claude Julien talked to his team a great deal about that. They were going to try to learn through that experience, and hopefully that will show up in this situation right here.
And Bell will circle back and get set for the draw. Gaborik coming in to take the face-off for the Slovaks. Here's Bell slamming on the brakes. Kopecky watching him. And away comes Gaborik. He's on the move. Bartovich with him. Gaborik trying to fight his way through Biron. That was a tough tree to climb. Gaborik back in the net. Bartovich works it back out. Wrist shot fired by Mizi, knocked down. Bartovich fires it wide. Gaborik. Here's Bartovich. Trying to get away. Gaborik picks it up. This line is really hopping for the Slovaks. Bartovich, Gaborik, and Kopecky. Giving them some real jump. And the puck finally pops loose. Kopecky after it. Now Biron off the glass and out. Ryder hustling up there for Canada. And he crunches his man. Here comes Malhotra after the puck. Now Ryder centers it right in front. Puck was sitting there for Bauk, and it got lost in his feet, it looked like. Kuchenberg drops it back. Played up ahead. Sorobi. Sorobi looking. Kuchenberg up there with him. He takes it. Kuchenberg to Sorobi. Zalasek back for Sorobi. Kuchenberg centers it out in front. Backhand shot just goes wide of the net. That was Zalasek, and he continues to battle. Gets it out. Sorobi shoots. And that doesn't get through. Ouellet down in the butterfly. Takes the net away and holds on.
Well, after Gaborik's goal, the Slovaks have come alive. They're the ones now that are being aggressive. They are forechecking Canada well, and they are winning those battles for the puck. Canada are trying to pay a little bit more attention, for good reason, on Gaborik. Bell ends up making sure that he doesn't let Gaborik go. He got away with that, fortunately. But Gaborik has been reunited, really, with Kopecky. They ended up being split up in this game. The Slovak coach changed all the lines around.
Puck comes back, fired there by Harabin, knocked away. Seaback with a shot, loose in front, and what a stop by Ouellet. Point blank on Lubomir Piszczek. What a great chance for Piszczek there.
Piszczek, who is a Philadelphia draft pick, he was in '98, plays for Kelowna, and ends up with a great opportunity. Now, Ouellet was able to see the puck, but again, there was a little bit of traffic in front only because of the loose puck. This man just kept dancing around out there, and nobody was picking him up.
Harabin with a shot. And Ouellet hangs on to that.
Ouellet all of a sudden has had lots of action. He's been true to the test, but Canada are a little guilty right now of standing around watching Ouellet making nice saves.
So what's happened, though? I mean, in the game against Finland, you talked about them laying back and hesitating. Do you see the same thing here, or is it just more pressure being put on by a very talented Slovak team?
Well, let's face it, the Slovaks and almost any team, when all of a sudden you're down by that many goals and you get a goal, you can either pick your bench up or your bench is just going to stay dormant. And in this case, the Slovaks were looking for that opportunity. Gorbek got the goal, and away they went.
Bartovich back of the goal was tripped up, and the Slovaks will go on the power play. Don't look now, but
yeah, don't look.
Here comes trouble. A Slovak team with some momentum, and they will get a chance to try to work things with the man advantage.
Matt Pettinger right here ends up being the man to take the penalty. He took a slash and then pulled the feet right out from underneath the Bartovich. And so Pettinger has put his team down by a man. And to get back to the Slovaks here, is that this is a talented, skillful group of players. I mean, we talked about the 12 players who play for the Canadian Junior Hockey League. But yet they have not had cohesiveness in this tournament necessarily so far. Their coach has had some difficulties, apparently, as Bob McKenzie was talking about. And it really looked as though they were a divided team in the first period of play.
Well, this newly formed line, at least new for this game, Gaborik, Kopecky, and Bartovich out there to start things off in the power play for the Slovaks. So let's see what they can conjure up. You know, in fairness to the Slovaks, they played poorly in the first game. They lost 5-2 to the Czech Republic. But the last couple, they battled the Finns to a 1-1 tie, and they lost 1-0 against the U.S. Two very close games. Puck poked out there. Starosta. Here's Mizi. Lots of time to go in a Slovak power play. Bartovic in over the blue line. Drops it off. Here's Gaborik. Sniped a wrist shot right on goal. A nifty little move and then a quick wrist shot to test Ouellette. Here's Bob McKenzie.
Well, even before the Slovaks went on this power play, we're seeing a little coaching maybe for the first time in this tournament by the Slovak head coach. Putting Gaborik out, double shifting his line effectively, realizing that he's got a hot hand with that new line that he's put together and giving them first power play unit time, and having Big Mezzi, the defenseman from the Belleville Bulls, man the point instead of Kudrock. They're both New York Islander draft picks, but Mezzi's a lot smoother than Kudrock, and a lot of people have been surprised that Kudrock has been on that first power play unit. So some big changes here as the Slovaks get on a bit of a roll.
That big line comes off for now. Kuchenberg hooks things back towards the blue line, with the puck rolling by Veradini. 1:25 to go in the power play for the Slovaks. Here's Kuchenberg. Sorobi up after it. Kuchenberg there along the boards, moves it up. Sorobi bumping his man. Zaleshak after it as well. Zaleshak is pulled down, and a penalty coming up. It is going to go against Jackman, I believe, and the Slovaks, for the second time in the game, will go on the two-man advantage.
Well, Canada is going to get themselves into some real trouble here, because by the way that they've been playing versus the way that the Slovaks have been playing, and there you see Jackman taking that penalty, is that they're just going to give an awful lot of room here and make it very difficult for Ouellette. Ouellette has been flawless in this game. He's done everything that could be expected of him, but after a 3-0 lead and then giving up that first goal, all of a sudden Canada are looking very similar to the way that they did in the third period against the Finns. They've got to find a way to battle out of this.
Zaleshak, two-man advantage for the Slovaks. Zaleshak works it back. Veradini works it over. Ruban, Veradini shooting, rebound. What a stop by Ouellette. Right there, point blank on Sorobi. They don't come much better than that. Quick as a cat. Veradini moves it over. Zaleshak steps out, shoots. Ouellette stops that one too. Loose there at the side, knocked back of the goal. Sorobi trying to center it in front. Finally, it's poked out. Malhotra, he's going to get a chance. Right down Main Street. And he stopped.
I think he hit the post.
Manny Malhotra with a great effort with Canada 2 men short. And he came close.
Well, great goaltending can give you opportunities. Ouellette had made some outstanding saves, and that gave the opportunity to Malhotra, who really worked hard to get this puck. He got a little bit too far in front of him. I could hear a clink. I don't know whether that was from the puck or from the goaltender hitting the post. What a great save by Ouellette.
Point blank, Tomas Sorobi was right there.
You make the first save, and then you make the second save on your own rebound as well. Outstanding.
And Sorobi took the time. He had just a moment to wait and look for the opening, and Ouellette still took it away. That's what I thought was so great about the save. Gaborik coming back, tried to work it over. That was read and intercepted there by Rossiter. One penalized player, Pettinger, comes back out. Still 53 seconds remaining in a one-man advantage for the Slovaks as they continue to press. Gaborik drops it down. Bartovic. Kopecky is there in front. Bartovic back to the line. Mizi with a shot. That took off on him. Harabin works it up. 30 seconds left in the power play. Kopecky trying to get it back to Gaborik there in the corner. Gaborik back to Harabin. Fired it up towards the goal. There's Gaborik. The puck wobbling around, and it bounces down in front of Ouellette. Back to Mizi. Mizi fires one. That's blocked. And Nilsson clears it out. 7 seconds left in the power play for the Slovaks. Martovic. Measy clears it in. And Kinch knocking his man down there. Teams are back at even strength. Great penalty killing again from Canada. Their penalty killing has been perfect in this tournament. Urban. Sliding it back along the boards. Kuchenberg getting it back of his own net. Urban trying to come out with it. Knocked down. Here's Richards for Canada. Bell is in front. Richards in front to Bell. Couldn't get it on the backhand. McCarthy with a shot. That was knocked down. And back come the Slovaks. Zalishek drops it off at the line. Sarovi fired one. Up and around and racing after it is Richards. Bell steps in over the blue line. Tried to get by Kolba. They ram after it there along the boards. Richards tied up. Pishtek starting it back. Bell just taps it in. Here's Harabin. 1 minute to go in the second period. In over the line. Marina. In back of the net there. Bomeister losing his stick, but still sticking with his man. Pishtek after it. Gets it to the corner. See Bomeister still trying to do the job out there with the stick. Seaback. Put the shoulder down, back for Harabin, a wrist shot. That hit Peteron's skate on the way through. Marina gets into the corner. Pishtek after it. 25 seconds to go in the period. And the Slovaks pressing. Bomeister just trying to get a face-off as he tied his man up with the puck along the boards. 20 seconds to go in the period, and Canada up by 2.
If you got a problem, don't care what it is. If you need a hand, I can show you this. I can help. I got 2 strong arms. I can help. It would sure do me good to do you good. Let me help.
F-Series, Canada's best-selling line of trucks for 33 years. Ford, for now, forever.
Welcome back. 20 seconds to go in the period. Canada had a 3-0 lead after 1. The Slovaks get 1 back here in the second period. Now racing up after it. Here comes Reed. Tried to dance through the middle there and just lost the puck. Boy, great wheels from Brandon Reed as he just turned it on coming through the neutral zone.
He's got a couple of gears. Great acceleration.
And we saw the high gear there. So another great period from Maxime Ouellet. What else is new? Canada up by a pair. Here's Gord Miller.
All right, Paul, coming up in our second intermission, Bob McKenzie will stop by. We'll have highlights of the other games played today, and Danny Heatley is featured in our Canadian Classics segment, along with a TSN Sports Update at this busy time of the year. Team Canada with a 3-1 lead. Our continuing coverage of the 2000 World Junior Hockey Championship continues right after this.
That old mop's a flop. The vacuum's missing spots. That old broom's stirring up.
The new Swiffer. It's so simple to assemble and cleans in new ways nothing has before.
Swiffer now, sliding, sweeping, and gliding. Here comes Swiffer Sweeper.
Swiffer claws use electrostatic action to attract and trap dust, hair, and common allergens. When you're done, toss the cloth.
Swiffer now, sliding, sweeping, and gliding. Here comes Swiffer Sweeper.
When Swiffer's the one, consider it done in the household cleaners aisle.
McCain Fruit Punch, the real fruit taste of real fruit juice. What a beautiful sound.
Back in Skellefteå, Sweden, that's the main square here in the middle of town. They're getting ready for their Millennium celebrations just a couple of days away. But of course, the big news here right now is the World Junior Hockey Championship. Earlier today, the United States met Finland here in Skellefteå. The U.S. went into the game without a loss. Finland went in without a win, but both those situations changed after this one. Finland on the power play in the first period. Tomek Veltinen, number 20, a Detroit Red Wing draft pick, fires it home to make it 1-0. And then midway through the second, Pat Foley, number 25, gets called for the 5-minute major for elbowing and a game misconduct. On the ensuing power play, also Turkio with a shot from the point, scores right there. That made it 2-0. The Finns would go on to win it by a score of 3-1. So the United States suffers its first loss in the tournament. Finland gets its first win. And of course, both those teams anxiously watching this game, hoping that Slovakia loses. Also today in Umeå, Sweden, it was Russia against the Swedes, and this was all Russia. Johan Asplund will make the first save here, but he can't stop the rebound. Evgeny Muratov scores to make it 1-0. Then Dennis Fitke plays for the Barrie Colts, tries to center, goes off a Swedish skate, and then Igor Shadalov with a big shot in the goal. Then leading 3-0 in the second period. On the power play, it is Alexander Lubimov with the big shot, and Russia goes on to win this one by a final score of 5-1. Both the Sedin twins, Daniel and Henrik, did play in the game but did not play well, nor did Johan Asplund, the Swedish goaltender, who's a draft pick of the New York Rangers. The other game in B pool has Kazakhstan leading Ukraine 2-0. So here's the situation. If Slovakia doesn't win, it will not get in. This is the final game of the round robin for the Slovaks, but the key now is to not finish fourth in the A pool, because that'll mean a date with the Russians in the first round of the medal round. And Russia now with 6 points in the B group. Switzerland and Sweden look to battle now for second spot. And should the score of the other game hold, Kazakhstan would move ahead of Ukraine and nailed on the fourth spot in Group B. Well, in this game, of course, Canada took a 3-0 lead and now leads 3-1 over Slovakia. Our man between the benches, Bob McKenzie, is with me now. Bob, we saw this on Christmas Day against the Finns. Canada takes a 3-0 lead, and then, I don't know how you describe it, suddenly gets tentative or lazy. What would you say?
Well, I'd say complacency sets in just a little bit, and maybe it's a natural reaction sometimes when you've got that 3-goal lead. When it's 2 goals, you know you're still in the hockey game. 3 goals, you feel like you're fully in control. The Canadians were guilty on the first Slovakian goal of a little complacency on the back check. In particular, Eric Chouinard not coming back and picking up his man. Not Marian Gaborik, who scored the goal, but the man who was able to feed him on the other side. So those are the little things you have to do, whether it's a 3-goal lead or a tight 1-goal game. And Canada stopped doing them briefly, and one thing leads to another. That snowballs a little bit. The Slovaks certainly got excited, and then after that, Canada got into some penalty trouble. And if not for the grace of Maxime Ouellette, this game might be a lot closer than even 3-1 at this point.
Bob, you can talk about Ouellette. There's another player here who has really made a name for himself, and maybe that shouldn't be surprising as a first-round pick, but Manny Malhotra, on the penalty kill especially, is having a huge tournament for Canada.
All he has in terrific, a shorthanded breakaway chance to maybe put this game on ice, but a terrific job by Malhotra, especially when Canada is down 2 men. They use 2 forwards, including Malhotra, as their first power play kill unit with Matthew Biron. They've done a terrific job throughout this tournament.
All right, Bob, thank you. That's our man between the benches, Bob McKenzie, and our live coverage of the 2000 World Junior Hockey Championship will continue from Skellefteå after this.
So, Wayne, how are you going to score points now?
I really want to try rodeo.
Pretty dangerous.
The great one now waiting patiently. He's obviously very pensive.
This is going to leave a mark. Old 99 is getting trashed.
You got to give him points for style.
Do you want points? Want to win in Durango? Got an SO Extra card? So use it. Now you can win and earn at SO.
One-handed. Pretty good.
Shaking well, and...
Oh, ouch! Look out! He's getting up.
Look at the smile on his face.
That's amazing.
Swipe the card, win and earn.
This is power. Unstoppable power. The power of new Duracell Ultra, the most powerful alkaline battery in the world.
The power for more pictures, faster flashes, more sound, and ultra performance in whatever it powers. New Duracell Ultra. More power, more life.
Gentlemen, this is our man.
He lives in a world where every second counts. He is followed.
They're out there.
Night after night.
And they're watching you.
By millions.
Jim!
I'm being framed. You gotta believe me.
Are you talking to me? What are you looking at? Are you looking at me?
I believe you,
First in position.
Initiate sequence.
I'm in.
In his world.
I'm watching you, Mr. Jim Van Horn, huh?
Information overload.
I am keeping score.
Can blow your mind. The Daily News says Van Horn is fantastic. The National Globe calls Van Horn Van Damn Good.
You break stories?
What is the score?
I break things.
Jim Van Horn stars in Sports Desk 6:30 Eastern.
I got my eye on you.
Best thing about hockey is just the competition and winning games. You know, there's no feeling like pulling together 22 guys and coming out on top. My hockey hero's got to be Wayne Gretzky because he's just the ultimate hockey player. I think he's the best player that ever lived, and you know, he's just the ultimate. To play for Canada would be just unbelievable. Going over to Sweden and representing your country would just be great, and probably the best feeling in my life right now. My role model's got to be my parents. My dad taught me a lot about hockey all through my life, and my mom's just been supporting me all through my hockey career.
The male is in pursuit of the female. The slightest scent of unpleasantness may send the female running. Thus, I recommend Right Guard Clear Gel or Clear Stick. Antiperspirant protection from odor and wetness that glides on clear with no flaky white stuff.
How far is the female?
A good 70 yards, mate. I've made longer passes than that before. Right Guard Clear Gel and Clear Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
It's a Canadian game.
The Royal Bank Financial Group has developed the Toonie Toss fundraising program, a fun way to raise money for minor hockey. Toss a toonie from the stands. One nearest the target wins great prizes. Proceeds from the event go directly to your community hockey program. The Royal Bank, proud supporters of the CHA.
Tonight, share that holiday spirit with TSN. The Canadiens and the Senators exchange season's greetings for viewers in the Canadiens area, while Sports Desk and College Football's Holiday Bowl share the national spotlight. Get it all on TSN.
Welcome back to the TSN Newsroom. I'm Bob Pronick. One early game in the NBA today. The Central Division leading Indiana Pacers lead the Raptors by 2.5 games as they visit the Atlanta Hawks. First quarter, Pacers with strong work. Mark Jackson drives to Kemby Mutombo with the rebound, gets stripped by Dale Davis, and then he goes uncontested for the dunk. Now Jalen Rose one-on-one blows past Jimmy Jackson to the hoop. Pacers by 4. On to the second quarter. Hawks down by 1. Lorenzo Wright takes it right up the heart of the Pacers D. Atlanta takes a 1-point lead. They now lead by 10 in the third quarter. In NHL news, the Edmonton Oilers have acquired goaltender Kay Whitmore from Boston for Mike Matucci. And Garth Snow will start tonight for the Canucks as they take on Philadelphia. Alexander McGillney is also expected to play. We'll get you back to Team Canada. Third period action coming right up.
When the male is in pursuit of the female, the slightest scent of unpleasantness may send the female running. Thus, I recommend Right Guard Clear Gel or Clear Stick. Antiperspirant protection from odor and wetness that glides on clear with no flaky white stuff.
How far's the female?
A good 70 yards, mate. I've made longer passes than that before. Right Guard Clear Gel and Clear Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
For every guy who'd rather swing a club than dance one. For every guy who's ever prepared a gourmet meal. For every guy who knows exactly why they're man's best friend. And for every guy who appreciates the benefits of being a guy, we'd like to introduce you to the Dodge Durango. It has the most cargo space, towing capacity, and power of any SUV in its class. The Dodge Durango. It's good to be a guy.
Maxime Ouellet, another strong game for Canada. How many years can we talk about in this tournament where Canada has been fortunate enough to have great goaltending? Roberto Luongo last year, Marc Denis, and just go right on down the list. There have been so many. And Ouellet the latest. Second period summary is brought to you by Cheerios. It all starts here. Only one goal, Marian Gaborik getting it. His second goal of the tournament. The team heading into this game with 3 goals. They now have 4. He has 2 of them. Not bad. So the team start this third period at even strength. And here's Biron. Back for Kinch. Works it up. Bauk trying to fight through a check there against Kolba. And here's Biron. Coming up with Nielsen and Malhotra. Heatley moving up, gets it around back of the goal. Malhotra. Back to Jackman. Moves in. Fired one. Looks as though he was trying to get that down so Heatley could tip it. Harabin fires it up around the boards. Now works through traffic. Knocked away. Reed up after it. Reed trying to get away from Kolba. And they jab after it. Heatley looking for it. Lundmark for Canada. Trying to get away from Kopecky. Lundmark slams on the brakes. Gets it there to Reed. Bouncing around. Reed and Lundmark both working after it. And the puck finally just cleared out. That'll be right on goal, so no icing. Jackman on the way up. Gets it up to Reed. Breaking through to Lundmark. Crisscrossing there. Lundmark had it poked off the stick by Starosta. Here's Reed. Starosta knocks him to the ice. Knocked down there at the line, kept in. Jackman with a backhand shot that hit a skate.
Canada doing a good job forechecking, cycling, but they're a little dangerous here at getting that third man deep. Too deep.
Gaborik fires the puck in, moving up after it. Kuchenberg breaking towards the front of the net. Zalasak tried to get it to him, but the play disintegrates, and Lundmark sends it down the other way. Pettinger couldn't get free to chase down that puck. Now it's knocked down by Chouinard. Shoots. That's steered away. Stania getting in front of it.
Canada really skating well to start this third period off. Off to a good start.
Roulier with a rising shot. Grabbed by Stania, and he will hang on to it. Let's take a look between the boards. Brought to you by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game. And in the second period, again, you see that great penalty killing of Canada coming to the fore. The Slovaks 0 for 6 on the power play in the game.
Go back to the second period and we'll show you that goal. You see right here, Ribeiro started to press. Now, it's a 3-on-3 situation. This was Chouinard coming back, folks. But see, he left his man right there. And all of a sudden, Gaborik ends up with a free shot. Chouinard was coming back. It was an innocent 3-on-3 situation, but then he left his man. Bob McKenzie had talked about what the coaches were saying in that second period when they weren't thinking defensively enough.
Kinch fires the puck up. There at the side for Chouinard. Pettinger got a shot. Biron up for Chouinard. Ribeiro waiting, moves in. Nice pass in front. Chouinard with a backhand shot. And it is covered up by Stania. Nice play by Ribeiro, though, to set up his line mate Chouinard. Let's bring in Bob McKenzie again. What's going on, Bob?
Well, Coach Claude Julien's message to his troops between periods was very simple. Get the momentum back and get it back early. And they've certainly established that in the first 2 minutes and 52 seconds of this period. He also noted it will be very important to get the next goal. Another goal for the Slovaks, and the entire complexion of this game changes. But he certainly likes what he's seen so far. Keep it simple, he said. Make sure you get over center, up to the blue line, and dump that puck in deep. Don't try to make a play at the blue line that can come back to haunt you on a turnover.
Here's Kinch, fires a shot. Rebound hopped out there, and Boak couldn't pounce on it. An icing call on the Slovaks. Played 3 minutes and 1 second so far in the third period. Still a way to go for Canada in this one, but they have the lead.
This is great! At midnight, we'll eat our way into the new millennium with this Gigundo party sub from Subway.
And no bacon in my section.
Eat your way into the new millennium with delicious 6-foot party subs and party platters from Subway.
4, 3, 2. Oh, well, 'tis always the next millennium.
Subway, the way a sandwich should be.
The third period is brought to you by Subway, the way a sandwich should be. Manny Malhotra out to take the face-off for Canada against Tomas Kopecky. And someone jumps the gun. Looks as though it was Kopecky, and he'll get tossed out.
Players don't wait around too long. They're not standing around. The play keeps on going. I think they're cold, Paul.
There's Kinch with a shot. That was deflected wide. That makes sense. A cold building. Let's drop the puck, play the game, and get out of here.
It's much quicker for that reason, I'll tell you.
Gaborik getting the puck up. Batted away. Bartovich trying to chase it down. Again, we see this combination of Bartovich, Kopecky, and Gaborik. Meanwhile, Canada back the other way, and after it along the boards is Nielsen. He scored a goal back in the first period. Couldn't come up with it there. Here comes Gaborik. Gaborik almost sneaking his way through. Rossiter lost the puck just inside the line. Now Jackman to Nielsen. Challenged there by Measy.
No surprise that Malhotra's line was out there against Gaborik.
And now the puck stolen by Ryder, moving in, shooting. Rebound just flipped over top of the net. Mark Bell had a wide open goal. And flipped the rebound over top. The puck was spinning around on him. Well, that was Urban with the hit, and from our vantage point, I can't see which Canadian player that is down on the ice. Looks like it's it's Richards. That is Brad Richards on the ice.
Well, let's go back and see how this happened. Canada once again had been really taking the attack. Bell had the great opportunity. Now watch around behind the net right here. That's when Richards went head first right into the boards. There's the shot, the rebound opportunity, and then Richards got bumped by Urban and bumped head first right into the boards. They were just being very cautious for good reason, the way that Richards went head first into the boards. So slowly now, he was moving his right hand, he was moving his neck, all good signs.
And it looks as though they're going to bring the stretcher out. And they do this as a precaution. Take no chances at all with any injury involving a neck or a back. You can see Richards moving his hand. He's conscious. And now he's up on his knees and standing up, and that's great news. We'll sort things out for you in a moment.
For every guy who knows clean is a relative term. For every guy with the ability to follow more than 3 programs at once. For every guy who sees no reason to dirty another glass. And for every guy who'd rather not spend the weekend in a mall, we'd like to introduce you to the Dodge Durango. It has the most cargo space, towing capacity, and power of any SUV in its class. The Dodge Durango. It's good to be a guy.
And welcome back. That's Brad Richards. He's talking with one of the medical officials with the team.
I think he's got a little cut in his chin.
It was tough to see from our vantage point. It went into the boards, obviously, helmet first, but may have banged his chin on the ice. But great to see him get up.
Or the boards.
Puck comes up ahead and striding through Zalashak. And he's tripped up. Zalashak with a nice burst of speed to get open.
Great play by Jackman, though. He avoided a penalty and did his job. Stopped the scoring opportunity.
Urban gets it around. Vidarini. Sarobi taps it in. Kuchenberg up after it. Now Sarobi along the boards. Reed lost his balance, but the puck recovered by Lundmark only momentarily. Seaback coming in. Bounced away from him. Here's Harabin. Throws it up ahead. Morena into the corner. Rossiter watching him. Pistek and Morena working it in tandem there along the boards. They knock it loose, but Lundmark will clear it for Canada. And that doesn't go far enough for icing. Kolba starting things back up to Seaback. Puck tapped ahead. Pistek fighting his way up after it. He and McCarthy go into the boards heavily. Bouwmeester sends it up around, and it comes out now to Nielsen. Bounced away from him. Here's McCarthy. Over to Jay Bouwmeester. Up to the line. Bouwmeester will flick it in. Nielsen up along the wall. Belk up there with him. He was upended. Bouwmeester skating back to pick it up. Played just over 6 minutes of this third period. Canada with a 3-1 lead. Here's Measy. Long pass up ahead. Kopecky controls it and comes in over the line. Drops it back. Bartovich was set to pull the trigger and didn't have a good shot. Here's Biron for Canada. Ribeiro works it ahead. Kinch drops it back. Moving in. Pettinger fired that one, and it gets away.
The Royal Bank Financial Group has developed the Toonie Toss fundraising program, a fun way to raise money for from the stands. One nearest the target wins great prizes. Proceeds from the event go directly to your community hockey program. The Royal Bank, proud supporters of the CHA.
100 years of Canadian sports, the great series that has been running on TSN. You can see all 12 episodes back to back to back to back to back to back. New Year's Eve.
I don't think you got 12 in there.
And you know what? It's a great series, but if you're watching all 12 episodes New Year's Eve and not going out, come on.
Hey, a lot of people aren't going out, I tell you.
Up through center, Bartovich. Look at this, drives right in, backhand shot. Well, let's stop that. And then withstood the ensuing pileup. Canada back the other way. Chouinard was upended. They are really opening it up. Sorobi in over the blue line. Rubbed along the boards. Sorobi looking for some help. Seaback comes up there to offer it. Puck got away from him. Kolba. Seaback finds some room. Trying to create a little bit more. And he was bumped out of the play. This is Heatley, gathering speed in over the blue line. Heatley pirouetting there, gets it over to Jackman, moving in. Jackman tried to slide it across there. He had Reed in motion. Now Reed pokes it back to the net. Lundmark. Here's Reed. Heatley was out in front. He couldn't get it to him. Marina plays it up ahead. Long pass up there at the blue line, almost clicked with Piszczek. Again, it's a low percentage play, but when it works, the results can be great. The Women's World Hockey Championship comes to Canada this year. Tickets available by calling the number on your screen. Will be held April 3rd to 9th in Mississauga and surrounding communities. For those of you not familiar with Southern Ontario, Mississauga, essentially a suburb of Toronto. And they will be great hosts to what is a fun tournament. Mississauga, the home of Manny Malhotra, for example.
And Jason Spezza.
Jason was from Brampton, another surrounding community.
From Mississauga. He played for Brampton last year.
Gaborik moves it around back of the net. Starosta. Bartovich couldn't control that. Here's Biron. Up for Nilsson, rolled away from him. Here's Gaborik. Lost the puck, stripped of the puck. Moving in is Malhotra. Nice pass off the boards. Didn't quite work, but a nice idea. Here's Nilsson. Works it over, the puck wobbling around. McCarthy trying to get a handle on it. He's got one now. Malhotra. Working up there with Heatley. Here's Gaborik. And he'll fire it out. Nilsson. Stepped across center, he'll roll it in. Horvat took the hit, but got rid of the puck. Zalaszak, long pass up at the line, knocked down, coming in. Kuchenberg is hauled down, centers it in front. Sorobi was up there in the play. Kuchenberg got it in front. Meanwhile, back the other way. Ryder battling his way towards the corner. Slovaks need a break here, down by 2, and they are called for icing. Here's Bob McKenzie.
Well, the good news on Canadian forward Brad Richards is that he's not seriously injured. He does have a minor cut on his chin. He's got a bit of a contusion on his left cheekbone, but otherwise seems fine. At this point, there's no plans to put him back in the game, although if if his services were required, it looks as though he could go back in. He's standing and joking and have his helmet on and ready to go, but at this point, no plans to shake up the lines and put him back in.
Brad Richards, the pride of Murray Harbor, Prince Edward Island, the first ever person from Prince Edward Island to play for Canada's national junior team, received an email from the Premier of the province, Pat Vins. And for an island with a small population, they have sent quite a number of prominent NHL personalities. Doug McLean jumps to mind, Errol Thompson. Pettinger battling away, works it back. Puck fired towards the front. McCarthy was looking for it there at the blue line, but out it came.
Canada have really been doing a good job of keeping that third man back. They have been forechecking well, and at the same time, though, keeping that third man back. And when the defense have decided to pinch, they've had lots of support. So far, the players are doing what Claude Julien has asked them to do. They've had good jump in this third period. The Slovaks haven't slowed down the least bit. They have been skating well, too. But the third man high is really key. Canada have not been laying back, though, folks. They've been going right at the Slovaks, and that's very positive. You see 2 men in right there? 2 men in, but yet their feet are all moving, and they've always got support. And they're also making sure that that long bomb is taken away.
Nielsen working it loose to Malhotra. Drops it back for Bout. Bout muscled there along the boards by Kopecky. Look at Bout like a bulldozer. Works the puck loose. Now Kopecky after it. And Malhotra hits him. Here's Malhotra. Now Biron. Back for Kinch. Berardini gets it in over the blue line. Puck fired there. Ouellet stops it. Nilsson. Berardini. Long pass, and again you see the Slovaks going for that long bomb.
Yeah, but Canada have got 2 men back there, that time 3, making sure that that long bomb didn't get through.
Jackman sends it up around the boards. Heatley gets it ahead to Lundmark. Reed hopped over his stick. Heatley after it. He was given a bump. Back come the Slovaks. Pass is just behind Sorobi. Berardini played it in over the blue line. Zalesak with a shot, and Ouellet turned that one down. Heatley out across center, in over the line. He's got Lundmark with him. He just ran over Ruban. Lundmark trying to push it loose to Reed. A penalty coming up, and it is going to go against the Slovaks. Canada will have a chance on the power play. We played 12:19 in the third period.
Avoid the lineups and shop online at chapters.ca right now to take advantage of huge Boxing Week specials on books, music, videos, DVDs, and software.
For Buckley's cough mixture, Mr. Frank Buckley.
I'm afraid Buckley's mixture tastes every bit as awful as people say it does. On the bright side, you won't have to take it for long.
Vidarini in the penalty box for tripping. Mixing it up in the corner and tripped up Brandon Reed.
Brandon Reed went to take off, yeah, and he had the feet pulled right out from underneath them.
Kinch getting back to pick it up. Pass up ahead. Here's Ribeiro moving in. Ribeiro to Chouinard. Bell up back at the goal, but picked up by Harabin, and he shoots it out. 1:35 to go on the power play for the Canadian team. On the move, Biron moving in. Back to Kinch, and it rolled by him. Gaborik was just lurking there, trying to knock down a loose puck.
And Kinch was the last man back at the blue line, too, because Biron had moved up.
This is Ribeiro. Bell for Ribeiro. Circles back, 55 seconds to go on the power play. Ribeiro back to McCarthy, shoots. That went off a stick. Biron after it. To Chouinard. Passed one across. Ribeiro couldn't get his stick on it. Here's Ribeiro again. Back to Chouinard. Fired that one. Stania stopped it. 35 seconds left in the power play. Ribeiro for Chouinard. Gets set, shoots. That's knocked down. Rebound knocked to the corner. Chouinard. They get away from Zalaszak. And he gets dragged down, and they will smother it there along the boards. 17 seconds left in the power play. 14:02 is what we played in this third period.
The ESSO Medals and Certificates of Achievement program rewards youngsters across Canada with most dedicated, most sportsmanlike, and most improved player medals, and reinforces team commitment with certificates of achievement for each member. ESSO, proud supporters of the CHA.
And Spezza up there for the remaining 17 seconds of the power play.
Chouinard made a couple of good heads-up play on the power play. He was looking for Ribeiro and almost gave it to Ribeiro once for a perfect deflection.
Pass up ahead, Zalaszak moving in. Willett knocked that away. 3 seconds left in the power play. He passed a little bit too far ahead for Spezza to get to, and fired by him. Teams back at even strength. We played 14.5 minutes of the third period. There's Spezza moving in. Gets a weak wrist shot. Now after it in the corner, tried to pull away from Starosta. That was knocked away from him. Here's Reed. Gets it in front. Lundmark scores! Jamie Lundmark. Reed had poked the puck in front, and Lundmark was just able to get a piece of it. Canada is up 4-1.
Well, Lundmark has got quick hands. He showed that on the penalty shot opportunity, and this time when Stania ended up poke checking, or at least trying to poke check that puck, once again he faces his teammate. Well, at least teammate during the season back in Moose Jaw. Lundmark was able to poke that puck right underneath of Stania. That has given Canada now that 4-1 lead. That was just a huge goal. It takes so much pressure off of Canada at this time in the third period.
That is Lundmark's second goal of the game. He scored the other one on a penalty shot. And back come the Slovaks. Pistak got it back towards the line. Colby moves it back up. Bell sends it up around. Here's Kinch. Pettinger moved it out. Kinch has some company. Seaback on him as they go towards the back of the goal, but Biron there to the rescue. Gaborik slashes it in. Here's Biron. And weird bounce as that puck hit down in front of Stania, but it rolled into the Slovak goaltender, and he hangs on.
For over 20 years, Air Canada has sponsored Canadian hockey, from World Championships to 5 regional midget events and the national final, the Air Canada Cup. Each year, Air Canada is pleased to present scholarships to the top players at these tournaments. Air Canada, proud supporters of the CHA.
Well, Jamie Lundmark is a very smart player. He's known for his speed, his creativity, and he's showing he's got great finishing abilities, too, on this big ice surface. That puck just ended up, well, almost deflecting. It did deflect off of the Slovak player when Reed went to put it back. But then Lundmark was quick enough that he was able to get to that puck before Staniak could. So another big goal by Jamie Lundmark.
Four and a half minutes to go, and Canada with a 4-1 lead. Puck tapped towards the front, and that is covered up by Staniak. The win by Canada pretty much finishes off the Slovaks in terms of medal hopes. And for Canada, it sets the table for an important game against the U.S. on New Year's Eve. That could be for first in the division.
Come on, guys, come on.
Pass up ahead, Measy. In over the line, Gaborik with him. Tried to work it back across, but Gaborik had been held up at the blue line. Starosta. Up ahead, Gaborik being watched by Malhotra. Got a little bit of room. But Canada lined right up along the blue line. There was really no opening for Gaborik. He'll try again and runs into heavy traffic. Roulier clears it in, and Canada will change it up, as will the Slovaks.
That long bomb attempt didn't work.
Here's Bomeister. Trying to play it across. Sorobi comes up, scoops it ahead. Zalasek trying to get outside on Bomeister. And they head towards the boards. The puck underneath Zalasek, and we get a whistle.
Branislav Measy has played lots in today's game. The general manager of the New York Islanders owns Measy. He was the Islanders' first-round draft pick, 10th overall. And at 6'5", 231 pounds, Branislav Measy has been a towering figure out there today. Mike Milbury apparently had a real tough decision as to whether or not to cut Measy or keep him. And the guy that he ended up keeping instead was Matthew Biron, another big defenseman, of course. And in the game today, I think Biron has probably outplayed Measy. So Milbury's probably thinking the right choice. Measy's going to be a good one, though. He's got the size and strength.
6'3", 231 pounds.
Plays for the Belleville Bulls, the Ontario Hockey League.
Urban bangs it up around the boards. Zalasek trying to come out. Taps it ahead. Kuchenberg held up there. Pettinger. Bomeister had his pocket pick. Seaback moving in. And Bomeister had to pull him down. On the way back is Jackman. Taps it up towards the corner. Jackman was thumped on the boards. Trying to tie the puck up. Battling against a couple of Slovak players. Finally, Sorobi clears it out. Seaback, long shot. That one drifting wide. Under 2 minutes to go. And Canada with a 4-1 lead. Pass up ahead. Seaback tapped it down. Arena with a shot that is stopped by Ouellet. He was unsure where the rebound was. Here's Biron. Bell clears it out.
That's out there, even strength. First time in the tournament.
Come on!
Biron going after it. Now Spezza picks it up. Buck club down, Bell. Ran into his man. Spezza moving up after it. Tapped by him. Bell. Works it up to Spezza. He's got Ryder in front. Couldn't get it to him. Now it comes out. Puck was fired there by Ryder. Nice stop, though. And play whistle down. Milan Bartovic had lost his glove and apparently suffered a hack in the corner. And it's a slashing call against Canada.
Well, Ryder ends up getting the slashing penalty. but I think it was a pretty dramatic event. Right here, Ryder just put on the little slash. I don't think that that was a huge slash by any means. But Bartovic ended up dropping his gloves and his stick and emphasizing the point to the greatest degree.
19:05, the time of the penalty, only 55 seconds to go in this game. And what a disappointment for the Slovaks, coming off of a Cinderella-like performance last year. They went 3-0-1 during the round robin, and then ended up defeating Sweden for the bronze medal. But they come back this year, and they will go through the round robin without a win. 3 losses and a tie. And Canada, meanwhile, will remain undefeated. A couple of wins and a tie, and looking ahead to their final game against the U.S. on New Year's Eve. Slovaks in the power play. Bartovic works down back at the goal. It got away from Gaborik. Here's Mizzi. Bartovic. With 5 seconds to go. Kopecky cleared it up. Knocked down and tapped away by Kinch, and that will do it. Canada with a convincing win, 3 goals in the first period, and they built on that on the way to a 4-1 victory.
Well, they found some offense today, but they also relied on Ouellet, who was outstanding throughout the course of the game once again, and gave Canada the opportunity to score the goals.
And what a great game for Jamie Lundmark of the Moose Jaw Warriors. He picks up a couple of goals, one of them on a penalty shot, and he also earned an assist. Canada earns the win. More to come from Skellefteå in a moment. It's time for all Canadians to make a commitment to better our hockey programs. Esquire and the Canadian Hockey Association are working together to develop minor hockey in Canada. $1 from each Esquire watch sold between October and March will go directly to the sponsorship and growth of minor hockey. Check out tsn.ca/ESQ or your participating Esquire dealer. Tell us about your team of superstars. They could receive Bauer merchandise and be the next Team Esquire stars to say,
Come here, let me look at it. How many? 4. Look here, look here. Go. All right, do it. Go. Where's the goal?
It's a Canadian game.
If you looked into the minds of the Taurus 2000 engineers, you'd see what they were thinking. Power adjustable pedals, a personal safety system with sensors that think about how to activate seatbelts and airbags. They were also thinking that a Taurus this safe should be an exhilarating ride. The Ford Taurus 2000. Good thinking.
McCain wants to give you a chance to win one of 5 Ford Taurus 2000s in the McCain Take-Home a Taurus Sweepstakes. With its power-adjustable pedals, sleek styling, and personal safety system, you'll get the red carpet treatment everywhere you go. To enter, send your name, age, and address along with proof of purchase from your favorite McCain product to the address below.
Honey, they love you.
Get real, Mom. We love the Taurus.
The McCain Take-Home a Taurus Sweepstakes. Enter today.
Better tasting food makes it a better value.
Time now for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Rayovac. It comes late in the first period. The penalty shot by Jamie Lundmark with just 3 seconds left in the period. What a move. One of his 2 goals in the hockey game. That one made it 3-0. A cash donation will be made to the Coaching Association of Canada for the training and development of Canadian coaches in amateur sport on behalf of TSN and Rayovac. All the power of the other guys for less. Team Canada still undefeated. Canada's player of the game was Maxime Ouellet. He's allowed only 4 goals in the tournament.
I am a living legend. My goalie stick is my sword and my shield. My mask, my armor, protect me from enemy fire. When players approach the net, they don't see a goaltender, they see a fortress. The hockey rink is my kingdom, and I am its guardian. What's your dream?
If your skin could talk. Are you listening to your skin? Olay is, with its totally new moisturizing foundation that lets your skin have it all. A look that lasts, a cared-for feeling. The new Oil of Olay All-Day Moisture Foundation, what your skin is asking for.
This is great! At midnight, we'll eat our way into the new millennium with this Gigundo party sub from Subway.
And no bacon in my section.
Eat your way into the new millennium with delicious 6-foot party subs and party platters from Subway.
4, 3, 2.
Oh, well, 'tis always the next millennium.
Subway, the way a sandwich should be.
So I finally get to see your place.
Yeah, this is, it.
It's interesting.
Hey, you want to go out for pizza?
Can't they deliver? I mean, can't we stay in?
Okay. Wait here and I'll...
In goes McCain Rising Crust Pizza. The crust rises up crispy and tender.
Excuse me?
Nothing.
It's loaded with toppings.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It was fast, too. They always deliver to your back door?
McCain Rising Crust Pizza. Who can tell it from takeout?
Marry me.
Okay.
Here are the Esquire players of the game for Canada. Not much doubt. Maxime Ouellet, 45 saves. He's allowed only 4 goals so far in this tournament. Marian Gaborik, projected as the #1 pick in the NHL draft, had a goal tonight. He was the player of the game for Slovakia. The players of the game brought to you by Esquire ESQ. Unwind.
It's time for all Canadians to better our hockey programs. That's why Esquire and the CHA are joining together to develop minor hockey in Canada. $1 from every Esquire watch sold between October and March goes directly to sponsorship and growth of minor hockey.
And so day 5 has come to an end of this World Junior Hockey Championship, and Team Canada remains undefeated. Let's show you all the scores from today's activity, and a couple of them of note from the A group. Earlier today, the United States taking on Finland, and it was Finland beating the U.S. 3-1. In the B group, Russia beat Sweden in a walk 5-1. Evgeny Muratov scored twice in that game. He's now got 6 goals in 3 games in the tournament. And Kazakhstan beat Ukraine by a score of 5-2. So let's show you what it means in terms of the standings. In the A group, Canada vaults to the top now with 5 points. The Czech Republic is next, followed by the U.S. and Finland. The loss today eliminates Slovakia from medal contention in the tournament. The top 4 teams in each group advance to the next round of this tournament, but it's important not to finish 3rd or 4th. That means dates with likely Sweden and Russia. In Group B, the Russians are a perfect 3-0. Sweden and Switzerland follow next. Kazakhstan, with the win over Ukraine, will nail down a berth in that group, so it'll be Ukraine and Slovakia in the relegation round of the World Junior Hockey Championship.
The World Junior Hockey Championship